Let's start off with private school, and let's use Harvard as an example. So this is their website, and let's see, the cost of attendance, and there are different pathways. Let's look at 2020, 21, and they divide it by year. By the way, this cost is for a year. So divided by 2, that's almost $100,000 a year. Let's actually look at, so if you divide it by 2, that would be per semester if you want to take a look at that. Let's look at second year. It's even more expensive. It's more than 100,000. That's 102,640 US dollars. Goes up by 1,000 in year 3 and goes down a bit. So an average of 100,000 a year for Harvard. Let's look at the itemized budget. So this is how it's all broken down. You could visit this website as well. So if you want to take a look at this, I just really want to give a comparison between a private school and a public school. Now let's use SUNY Downstate, State University of New York, Downstate as an example for public school. All right, this is going to require a little bit of searching because we'll have to look for the program we're interested in. But if you're interested in their other programs, you could take a look at it here. And by the way, their website breaks it down per semester. So it's not per year. Harvard breaks it down by year. Let's look at medicine here. It's PA medicine. Here we go. So if you are a resident of the state of New York, it's $21,835 per semester. You have to add all these other things. So this is the summary of fees. So you multiply this by 2, that would be comparable to, you can now compare it equivalently with Harvard. So we're looking at, let's say, $45,000 a year versus $100,000 a year for Harvard. So for a public school, SUNY Downstate, it's less than half. Now, you're probably aware, so it's about, and this is for non-residents. You're probably aware that the City University just started its medical school in City College. And I believe it started in the fall of 2018. Let's visit their website. The CUNY School of Medicine is offered in the campus of the City College of New York. And we all know that City College, of course, is part of CUNY. Now, there's something unique about their program. So take a look at this. This is actually a BSMD 7-year program. Remember the MBBS program I talked to you about from foreign countries? It's sort of similar, but in this case, it's actually in a span of 7 years, the City of New York, the City College of New York will confer a Bachelor of Science degree and the MD degree. So it's 2 years preparatory, which is equivalent to 3-year preparatory, but it's equivalent to a bachelor, so it's an accelerated program. And then the remaining 4 to 5 years would be medicine proper. However, this is not a bachelor's program like the MBBS. This is a BSMD program. So you basically receive this degree at the same time once you complete everything. So I kind of surfed around their website and I found this for tuition and fee listing for CUNY Medical School. Again, let's see, is this, yes, this is per semester, similar to SUNY Downstate. So it's about the same as SUNY Downstate. If you're a resident, New York State resident, of course, you need to establish 6 months of residency in New York before you become officially a New York State resident. But it's about, I'd say, similar, probably cheaper by a few $1,000s. But it's almost the same as the other public university we discussed that has another School of Medicine here in the city of New York, which is the SUNY Downstate. So for CUNY in City College, it's about $21,000 per semester, which amounts to about $42,000 to $43,000, including all these other things, every year. Again, as opposed to Harvard University, which is $100,000 a year. So before I proceed, actually, I want to show you, I wanted to show you about this government program. It's called the National Health Service Corps under the Department under HRSA, Health Resources Services Administration, which is under the Department of Health and Human Services. So, what is the National Health Service Corps? Let's take a look. Look at this. We award scholarships to students training to become healthcare workers. We pay school loans for current primary healthcare workers. So if you were, there are some conditions to this. So you might want to further explore this. But the point I'm trying to make here is the government is actually offering some incentives for people to stay in primary care. And if you're a physician and you're going to work as a primary care or a generalist primary care physician in a shortage donation, medically underserved area, HRSA would actually give you money to pay for your loans. So that's something to consider. And for the last portion of this video, I'm going to talk about the population characteristics or the demographic characteristics of physicians in the United States. So the latest data we have available is from 2014. Here you find the 2 degrees in the United States, MD and DO. About 92% are MDs in terms of physicians who are practicing. In terms of medical school type, whether they are US or Canadian graduate, MD and DO combined, and whether they're international medical graduates. So about 75% are graduates of the US or Canada, and about 23% are international medical graduates. This is the breakdown in terms of age. So the majority of physicians are now, from in their 40s to late 40s, early 50s. This is where you find the bulk. So we don't know when they will actually retire, but if we follow the retirement age, they have at least maybe another 15 to 20 years. But we are continuously recruiting physicians from around the world as well. Here, this is very notable. Huge majority of physicians are still males, and only 32% are females. And those that have board certification, about 80%. There are still some who do not have certification. Most of these, I would imagine, are those who have just finished their residency training at the time of this census or survey, and they're probably board eligible.